In the process of making this video, I fell asleep twice out of boredom. So if you haven't clicked off already, I warn you now, this is the time. Because we have an absolute riot of an economic article to review today titled
Federal Reserve Chair Jerome H. Powell outlines the Federal Reserve's response to technological advances driving rapid change in the global payments landscape.
Posted by the Board of Directors of the Federal Reserve's as you can tell, it's insanely dry material. I developed eye crust while trying to research this specific topic. But if you haven't already clicked off, I'm very surprised. But hey, thanks. I really appreciate you sticking around. So I'm going to try to keep it brief, keep it concise, and give you guys the important details from this news piece. So let's go ahead and get into it. Something that Mr. Powell likes to say from the jump is that the Federal Reserve has been on the cutting edge of technology. Now, whether you agree with that or not, it's up to you, but I'm just going off of what he's saying. He gives examples like how in the early history of the Federal Reserve, telegraph technology was adopted to make high-speed transactions between banks. In the 80s, automatic clearinghouses and electronic bill payment systems were developed in order to provide an alternate to paper checks. Another example he gives is 2019 they created FedNow, which was created specifically for banks to be able to make instantaneous payments to customers on a 24/7 basis. But now you have this weird landscape where new private developments in digital ledgers and other financial techs have led to this absolute tidal wave of cryptocurrency possibilities. And from here, the conversation turns from the history of the Federal Reserve to the future. Now, when you're looking at cryptos, you got your Bitcoins, your Ethereum, Tethers, Binance Coin, your Dogecoin, obviously, and hundreds more created on a daily basis. From what the Federal Reserve has seen at the moment, the landscape of cryptocurrencies has not shown an ability to be used on a national scale, primarily due to two issues. Number one, wild volatility swings, and number two, a lack of consumer protection and regulations. One market solution to this could be stablecoin that is tied to the dollar, because it seemingly eliminates the volatility issue. Mr. Powell admits that stablecoins do actually speed up the digital payment process and reduce end user costs, or at least it has a potential. However, the lack of consumer protection and regulation still exposes people to a higher level of risk compared to established methods. Examples that he gives of established methods are the physical dollar or traditional bank deposits that you'd make anyway. With all that said, the inevitable increase in stablecoin usage will require an equal increase in attention to potential regulatory frameworks. This framework would be attached to both the government and privately made currencies. Speaking of making a currency, despite the fact that CBDC sounds like a new form of marijuana, it actually stands for Central Bank Digital Currencies. The function is exactly as it sounds like. It's a new digital currency honored by the Fed. According to Powell, over the last couple years, the Federal Reserve has already continuously completed studies, experiments, and cost-benefit analysis towards finding the best method of implementing a digital dollar. In the context of implementing a new CBDC dollar, one key component to keep in mind is that from the Federal Reserve's perspective, the current payment method is already insanely safe, effective, efficient, and dynamic. So from their perspective, they don't have a rush to change the status quo. In fact, within this article, they specifically state that a new CBDC would only serve as a supplementary tool and not a replacement for the physical dollar. With that said, the Fed plans to work with other central banks and financial entities to create a regulatory framework which protects the integrity of all payment systems. As far as my personal opinion, I think it's a cool concept, and with the way the world's going, I see it as almost like a natural progression for most major economies. Something else I think is cool is that they're talking about making a discussion paper that they're going to release in the summer, which goes more in detail about their process of research and developing a CBDC. They're asking for input from elected officials, which I get, but they're also asking for input from the public, which, from my experience on social media, leads me to believe it's just going to be a bunch of shit posting from like a lot of Redditors, but hopefully some actual input for some actual people can get in that paper. Now I'm going to stop giving personal opinions at that point because I refuse to take part in any conversation at the moment about the Federal Reserve. Should it exist at all? Should we go back to the gold standard? What about staying with the dollar? What about inflation? What's the actual value of a dollar? How are we going to pay off the national debt? How are we going to pay for kids' school lunches? Should I order a 4 for $4 or a Wendy's Baconator? Where's Waldo? Is this a computer simulation? And if it is, what currency are they using? I honestly think that any criticism anyone has right now is valid just because of how new a concept this is. But I know how shit things can get on the internet. I'm not trying to have a heated argument on a Sunday afternoon, so I'll leave that to comment section debaters. But those are my worthless 2 cents, and I highly suggest you find somebody with $1 worth of research to give you more concrete detail on the specifics of this topic. And with that, I'm going to end today's video. I promise you, if you got to this point, I absolutely love you. According to my analytics, I'm the only person that ever makes it into my videos, and I'm pretty sure I'm more than half of my own views, so thanks for sticking around, or even if you just saw part of it, I appreciate it. I genuinely thought I was going to find a way to make this topic interesting, but I think you could tell from my voice tone, I'm kind of done with it, so I'll find something better for the next week. Sorry about that. My last video broke 50 views and got 2 thumbs up, so I've been on top of the fucking moon all week, so thanks for the support out there. I appreciate it. We're still at 0 subscribers, but hey, fuck it. I'm here for me anyway, so it is what it is. Hey dude, whoever you are, hope you're having a good day out there, and stay safe guys. See ya.